Welcome to my next Better Call Saul Season 2 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you're not caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Better Call Saul, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you found if you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And I've already seen Better Call Saul all the way through one time. I even did reviews of Better Call Saul Season 6 on this channel. So if you want to see those reviews ahead of time, assuming you've seen every single episode of Better Call Saul, you can click right here for my Season 6 Better Call Saul review series. With about 20 seconds left to go in the video, it'll be the end screen. You'll click on that link and that will get you to those videos. And then, of course, I'll put my Breaking Bad reviews and everything Breaking Bad related right here. That'll be all my episode reviews, my seasons rank, my character rankings, the whole kit and caboodle. But I really like this show. Wanted to rewatch it, let it resonate. Only watch a couple episodes a week, and see where the show ranks on my all-time favorite TV shows of all time list. I'm thinking number 6 of all time, but I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But 6 will be the high spot. It might be lower. I think it's top 10, though. But with all that said, this will be Better Call Saul, Season 2, Episode 6. The title of this episode is called Bali. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So Jimmy lies awake in his corporate apartment. He tosses and turns, but simply can't get comfortable. Giving up on falling asleep, he turns on the TV and starts channel surfing, finding that Davis and Maine have used a very plain version of a class action lawsuit, and with the narration and white text over a squirrely background that he hated from the previous one. Jimmy decides to blow off steam by playing with the straw decorative balls in his apartment. Still bored, he drives to the nail salon and finally falls asleep in his old office on his couch bed. The next morning, as Kim is getting ready for work, she gets a call from Jimmy but decides to let it go to voicemail. Jimmy serenades her with the song Bali High from South Pacific, leaving her amused. Mrs. Wynn enters the office at the nail salon, annoyed, at Jimmy's presence. However, he says he is in his right to be there as a rent-paying tenant. Kim moves back into her old office at HHM as she's unpacking her belongings. Howard asks her to accompany him to a meeting with the Mesa Verde folks. As they walk to the meeting, it is clear from the way he gives her the cold shoulder that Howard is not happy with the pull Chuck used to reinstate Kim. Meanwhile, Mike returns home from his shift with groceries, and he finds one of Hector Salamaco's henchmen, Arturo, sitting on his front porch or his front doorstep. He tells Mike that Hector wants an answer regarding the situation with Tuco Salamaca. Mike respectively declines and continues in his house. Once inside, he goes to work, He goes to work, but not at work, just work in terms of let's get busy, setting up a small trap for any future intruders. He tapes a couple of sheets of carbon paper to the base of the welcome mat and places it next, on the doorstep. Howard sends Kim to court by herself at a motion hearing for the Sandpiper case, in which lawyers for Sandpiper Crossing argue that Sandpiper residents should be required to disclose their medical records as a testament to their sign agreements. And Richard Swikert, Sandpiper's lead counsel, is impressed at Kim's ability to argue against it, even though she was going to lose anyway, and invites her to lunch. As they wait for drinks at an upscale restaurant, the Ford Kitchen and Bar, Swikert begins asking her about her career with HHM and reassures her that he had once been in a position in court similar to Kim's. He expresses interest in hiring Kim to work for his own firm, Swikert and Coakley. Returning home that night, Mike cautiously looks around in case any of Hector Salamaca's men are waiting to ambush him. He lifts up the welcome mat to find footprint impressions on the carbon paper and sees that the lock appears to have been picked. Mike decides comes to the conclusion that Hector's men are inside the house, and Mike takes out his gun and cautiously enters, searching room to room. Unable to find them, he decides to lure them to him. Not taking his hand off his gun, he grabs the remote and turns on the TV, which begins playing a loud Billy Mays infomercial. A moment later, a door in the front of Mike opens and two men emerge from it with their guns drawn. Mike takes them by surprise and knocks one of them down by striking with the door while pistol whipping Arturo. At gunpoint, Arturo explains that they only have one message from Hector. For Mike to take $5,000, Mike is unimpressed that Hector would send two hitmen to deliver such a message, and Arturo admits that he only sent them to scare Mike. Mike sends the henchmen on their way with a message for Hector. Try harder next time. As he washes his blood off his gun and hands, Mike is visibly unsettled. The next day, Kim Wexler is at work in her office when Howard's secretary, Julie, comes by with sandpaper documents for her to review. Howard needs them done in an hour, in spite of the fact that Kim hasn't had her lunch break yet. Meanwhile, Mike is at the motel pool and watching over Kaylee. At one point, he looks up and sees Leonardo and Marco Salamaca waiting from the roof of a nearby building. As Mike watches, Marco does a gun gesture that goes from being directed at Mike to Kaylee. Then pulling the trigger and mimics pulling the trigger. The cousins then leave. Mike quickly removes Kaylee from the pool, knowing now that she's being targeted. Really? Kim returns to the restaurant and considers making a phone call to Swikert and Coakley. She is interrupted by another patron at the bar trying to hit on her by buying her a drink. At Davis and Maine, Jimmy goes through paperwork with Omar while being monitored by Aaron. He's interrupted by a phone call from Kim, asking him to come to Albuquerque as soon as possible. Over drinks, Jimmy and Kim are able to scam the patron into writing a check for them made out to Ice Station Zebra Associates. That night, Mike is summoned to an ice cream store in a different part of town. The place is closed but occupied by Hector, the cousins, Arturo, and Nacho. When Mike enters, he is frisked by Nacho to make sure he isn't wearing a wire. Mike carries a pistol, however, but Hector doesn't care and lets Mike keep it. Hector explains what he wants Mike to do: go to the district attorney and claim that the gun was his own, not Tuco's, and make up a story why it wasn't mentioned. Mike agrees, but still wants a payment. Hector's $5,000 offer is off the table now, and he offers to let Mike live if he agrees to the terms. Mike refuses, so Hector threatens to send the cousins to his family. Mike still demands $50,000, figuring that he needs the money more than Hector ever will. And then when he refuses, Mike reaching towards his pistol, telling Hector, either I get my money or neither of us walk out of here. Impressed with Mike's big balls, Hector agrees to pay that fee. Later, Nacho drives to Mike's house to deliver the payment. Mike splits up the payment and gives $25,000 back to Nacho, explaining that their problem is coming back sooner than expected. The next morning, after another one-night stand with Jimmy, Kim looks over the check they conned from the patron. Kim decides not to cash it, figuring it's better as a souvenir, and plants it in the mirror. Kim takes the opportunity to tell Jimmy about Swikert's job offer, even mentioning that Swikert is going to pay off all of her law school loans. Jimmy feels happy for Kim as they talk. Kim reminisces that thinking about seeing Jimmy relaxing at the hotel pool. In hindsight, HHM is a dead end for her, while Davis and Maine doesn't seem to be the right fit for Jimmy. As Jimmy prepares to leave for work, he is finally frustrated by the cup holder of his Mercedes, to the point that he uses a tire iron to remove a tire iron from the trunk to remove it, allowing for his travel mug that Kim got him with the second best lawyer to fit. And that's what ends this episode of Better Call Saul. So pretty good episode here. Lots of great moments in the episode. I'm going to give the episode an 8.5 out of 10. I have co-characters of the episode because there were two solid characters. You have Kim, you have Mike. They were awesome in this episode. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Better Call Saul and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section below about what your thoughts are on this episode of Better Call Saul. What would you rate the episode, and whom would be your character or characters of the episode? Obviously, Jimmy's one of the characters of every episode, just about. But besides Jimmy, who? Remember to click right here for my Better Call Saul Season 6 reviews if you want to jump ahead, if you've seen all the episodes of Better Call Saul. I'll put my Breaking Bad playlist right there. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.